hello. Alright, hey, what's up guys? We've posted a few videos showing kind of what we're doing here, but we haven't really talked about why or what led us to this, or what I do for a living outside of homesteading and part-time farming and that kind of thing. So we thought it'd be a cool time to go ahead and let you know what our lives are like. So what do I do? What do we do? Brittany, what do you do?
Hi, I'm Brittany.
This is Brittany. She's my wife.
I homeschool the kids and attempt to take care of the house.
And a lot more. Me, I'm active duty Navy. I'm I'm a chief petty officer, and more specifically, I'm an independent duty corpsman, which means I'm a submarine independent duty corpsman. Excuse me. So I'm the medical provider on board submarines. I don't usually have this scraggly Joe Dirt beard. I just happen to be on leave, so that's what that is. All right, we got a whole bunch of questions here. We thought, or that we do get asked, and we thought would be cool to go ahead and answer. So we'll go through those. What interested me in homesteading / farming, and what led me to doing it the way I'm doing it now.
There's a bald eagle over there.
There's a bald eagle over there. Thank you, Seth. Can you give mommy and daddy just a minute so we can do this video? Thank you. Probably as far back as I can remember, I've enjoyed the outdoors, survival, stuff like that. I can remember going out in the woods and just making forts and stuff when it rained, and trying to survive in the rain when I was a kid. And I read My Side of the Mountain, and that really resonated with me as a young child. And I was always into that sort of self-sufficiency thing. So fast forward, joined the Navy. We were overseas, didn't really do much there. We met overseas in Italy. Then I moved to California. I started getting really into survival stuff, did some camping and just survival type stuff. And then we moved to Georgia eventually. Just giving a bunch of story here, but we moved to Georgia and ended up finding the place we're on now, which is a small little 2 acres, kind of back in the woods, and it's been good for us so far. Wish we had more land, but it works for our situation because she wants to be close to town, I want to be close to nothing, and we get a little bit of both worlds here. How do you feel about homesteading and farming, Brittany?
I like it. I like it where we are now. I wouldn't want to move any further away. I like my role in it, which is pretty much nothing.
Seth, back up, baby. What level of farming am I at right now? How do I juggle being active duty military and farming? You know, how do I do well at... Hold on, baby. How do I do well at work on base and handle all the chores and everything here? Well, the kids help, for one. My oldest son, Silas, who is 8, does a good portion of the morning chores. And then I do the rest in the evening when I get home from work. And I do some morning chores as well, some days. Not always is it required, because he does most of the feeding and most of the watering for a good portion of the animals. And I pretty much have majority of it set up on automatic style feeders, where I'll really only have to do it every few days or once a week or stuff like that. Seth, what's your job on the farm, Seth?
Helping Silas.
Helping Silas.
What else do you do?
You get all the eggs? Yeah, Seth gets the eggs and he helps his brother, or annoys him during chores. I'm not really sure which he does. What happens if I deploy? What happens with the farm? What happens with the YouTube? Well, the farm keeps going, and I will deploy here eventually at some point. I'm on shore duty right now, which is kind of the Navy's version of the break between a seagoing command. So ultimately, I'm sort of non-deployable for a 3-year period. But I will have to go back to a submarine. I'll go back to a boat, and I'll be deployable on a routine basis. In that case, I'll probably downsize some pigs. I won't have 30 pigs or more. I'll probably sell them off and not breed back when I know that that's coming. I still have a little while left before I have to deploy again. But otherwise, everything will be set up on automatic stuff, and Brittany and the boys will just kind of keep it going a little bit. I won't do meat chickens while I'm gone, so I'll end my last batch before I leave. And that's pretty much it. Well, I release videos on deployment. I'll probably stockpile a few so that Brittany can upload them, and then no one will be able to really tell when I leave and when I get back. That's kind of a thing that we don't talk about in the submarine community, but I'll probably have some stockpiled videos that I'll release, but there will be periods of time where I don't release much, if any. Oh, and what level of farming am I at? Seth, go hang out over there, baby. What level of farming am I at? I am at the level of I sell batches of meat chickens, so roughly 60 to 80 per month, and some eggs here and there. I'm trying to get my egg flock going bigger and better. So I would say probably in the, I just did turkeys as well. That was actually the first thing I did before I had meat chickens. I was raising turkeys. So I did 40 turkey. So since July, I've done turkey and meat birds, or Cornish crosses. Let's see, August, September, October, November, December. That's 5 months. I have to use my hands because I'm a Neanderthal. I'm probably pulling in somewhere between $500 to $750 a month if you average it out over the months. I haven't done pigs yet. That's coming in a couple months, I hope. Kuni grow really small, which is probably why I'm getting out of Kuni. But not only are they small, but they're very slow growing. So I'll have a limited Kuni herd in the future if I could unload some of these. So just starting out in pasture poultry. Really have only been selling for a couple months. Waiting on my pigs to be ready to do pastured pork, and yeah, really still starting out level. How did you handle, we still farm, not production farming, but I've always had, as long as I've lived in Georgia anyway, I've had gardening and some animals and stuff, and then all kind of other craziness. But how did you handle me deploying in the past?
It's usually a hot mess situation. I usually forget to do everything, and then at the last minute I'm scrambling to get things done. Mainly the chickens. So the chickens are hard for me because I never remember to put them up or to feed them or to water them. Silas is usually the one that reminds me halfway through the day that I need to feed and water them.
Perfect. Oh, should I tell all the chickens dying story, or what's up?
You can. It's not my fault though.
So I hatched out like, I don't know, 20 something chickens at one point in time, and everything was fine. I went underway. About 2 weeks later into my underway, I finally get an email, and it's normal email. Oh, by the way, all your chickens are dead. And that was it. And then I went dark and didn't get any emails, and that's the last I heard. So
in my defense, there was a giant hole in the fence about this big, and something was getting in there and eating all the chickens, and all we were finding were random wings in the yard. So it wasn't my fault. It wasn't like I starved all 20 chickens or anything. Something was just eating them.
Right. I'm sure that's what happened. This is probably the most common question I get from military people. I get asked this all the time from all my friends and stuff at work. What happens with everything on the farm when I transfer? And my usual answer is, I don't know, I'll figure something out. But really what happens is everything here is on a mobile system. So if I go to, I don't know, Hawaii or San Diego or Groton or some crazy place like that, I just pack my fence up. I end my cycles of animals, so either process them all, sell the breeding stock, and sell the meat, or pack the meat up and take it with me. Because I doubt if I transfer, it won't be a permanent thing. I only have 6 years left, so this is where I want to ultimately end up. So I don't know that I'll go buy a whole bunch of land somewhere else and transfer the animals. Probably, honestly, I'll just process them and sell the meat. And I'll pack the fencing and all that kind of stuff up. Maybe store it here because I'll rent this house and do something like that. It's kind of the perk of living in a military town. Rentals go really well. And I could just lock all the stuff away somewhere. My family actually only lives 2 hours from here. So I could store the stuff at my dad's house or something like that and just rent my house out for when I come back several years from now. If I were to transfer. Hopefully I don't. Do I plan to grow the farm with the chance of transferring and the guarantee of deploying? And I would say I'm going to do what organically happens. I'm not going to push it and be crazy, but I'm not going to not push it either. And I'll just grow as it grows, and if I have to scale back, then I'll scale back. If I could go back and redo it, turn the page, would I stay Navy and Homestead, or would I get out and Homestead and think everything happens for a reason? I am where I am for a reason. I like where I'm at. I like what I'm doing. I don't have an issue with the Navy. I wish I would have focused earlier on, saved more money, saved my bonuses, maybe not blew so much money early on in the Navy, never went into debt, and just paid off land somewhere and had much bigger land. My kids are being crazy. So if I could redo it, I would stay Navy. I would just not squander all the extra money and re-enlistment bonuses and stuff like that. I would save it and pay off land. But ultimately it led us here, so I'm not unhappy about where I am. What is farm business like in a Navy town? Man, praise the Lord for Navy wives. All the dudes in the Navy, I don't think I ever actually get business from guys, maybe onesie-twosie basis, but you know, they're happy eating hot dogs and ramen as far as I know. But the Navy wives, they're the ones that care about the things like their family's health, nutrient density, and just the whole pastured poultry, pastured pork, free-range eggs. They understand what it means to feed their family healthy, and they have a desire to do that. So business is actually really good. I'm not selling to like some podunk farmer who wants to pay 79 cents per pound for chicken at Piggly Wiggly. It's an eclectic mix of people in a Navy town that allows me to actually have pretty good customer base because there's so many different varieties of people here. So it's actually helpful to be in a Navy town for this type of farming. At least that's my opinion. Are you surprised that people are as interested as they are and willing to pay the extra for pastured poultry and stuff?
Yes. I, to be honest, didn't think anybody was going to want to buy chickens from random people like us.
Off of Facebook?
Off of Facebook. I thought...
Buy raw chicken off of Facebook Marketplace?
I thought that we'd have 80 chickens and inevitably I'd have to end up taking care of all of them for no reason. And so I think our first batch of chickens we completely sold out, our turkey sold out, and it kind of proved to me that people are willing to pay the money for good quality meat.
Yeah.
And eggs.
Yeah. I was surprised too, to be honest. I did not know that anybody in South Georgia would be willing to pay $20 a bird or $25 a bird, or I pay $3.50 a pound, any of that type of stuff. $3 a dozen for eggs. But they do, man, like it's going out of style. So I sold out my first batch, and I don't have anything in stock right now. I got to slaughter more to have more to sell. Constantly have people, and I'm almost need more land to grow more because I have so much demand right now, I guess. All right, so if farming and or YouTube blows up, would I consider not retiring? Because I have 6 years left, and then I retire. So in 6 years I'll be at 20. But I am coming up on needing to re-enlist. So theoretically, I could get out in 18 months from now. So if farming and or YouTube picked up in the next 18 months, enough to pay my bills, would I not retire and just get out? I don't know. That's a very tough question. It's kind of hard to pass up a paycheck every day for the rest of my life and medical care every day for me and my family for the rest of my life for just waking up and breathing. So, and I excel in the Navy. I enjoy the Navy. So I don't really know. It depends. Maybe get me a few million subscribers and start giving me that big YouTuber money, and I'll answer that question then. But I'm assuming that's not going to happen, so I imagine I'm probably just going to stay in and retire. And whatever Navy or life throws at me, then we'll adapt and overcome. Even if it's transferring. Maybe we'll go transfer somewhere and get to live in a yurt off grid or something. Doubt it, but who knows where we'll end up. But for now, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. I'm going to keep selling chicken and pork and turkey and doing the homestead projects. We've got a smokehouse build coming up that I'm going to post. So many projects, so many things to make it easy, because I try to make it easy on Brittany. Making things automatic so that she doesn't have to do as much. So a lot of that how to make your chores easier type stuff is coming. I'm going to be posting a whole bunch of that stuff. So hey, stay tuned, and man, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please comment down below. We're happy to answer anything. I know it's not very common that people are in the military and doing the homesteading thing. I think most people have this fear that they have to sort of stop their life. I think my son is vlogging behind me. He doesn't even have a phone. Most people put their lives on hold for like their military career, and they don't do their dreams because they're scared that they're going to get uprooted or whatever.
Or
man, just do your dreams anywhere.
Or wives want to inadvertently hold their husband's back, or a spouse wants to hold their other spouse back because they're afraid they won't be able to care for their children the way they would like to, or they'll feel overwhelmed with the things that are presented to them. I think is a big reason why people don't follow their dreams while they're active duty.
Yeah, I carried a tree around that I planted and dug up, put in a pot, and to like 3 or 4 different houses. I still have that tree now. It's planted in my yard. I just did what I could along and along, and now I'm able to grow. I may have to downsize again, but it's all about
back to that one tree.
Yeah, back to my one tree. I don't think I can carry it now. It's pretty big. But don't put your life on hold just because you're scared to follow your dreams. Follow your dreams in your situation, and that's what I'm doing now. The military only helps. It gives me a steady paycheck, it gives me health care, it gives me all that, and it affords me the opportunity to do this type of stuff. And I'll just adapt and overcome as it comes at me. Anything else?
Nope.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, subscribe. Stop messing around. Hit a like. Maybe share it. I don't know. Maybe hit that bell icon. See what happens. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.